In this clip, we'll take a quick look at the main settings you can change when creating a BlazePod activity. Let's dive into the random light logic screen to learn all about the different settings. Here in the random logic, the settings are split into 3 screens. You can swipe between them or tap on Next to move to the next screen. First, we will define the general setup. As you will notice, each setting has a small info icon next to it. You can press on the icon at any time to get a quick reminder of what the setting does. Now back to the logic. Each working station will run the exact same activity at the same time. Don't forget, you'll need enough pods to run the same activity more than once. Now we can set how many pods are needed for your activity. After setting up the pods, set the amount of players you want to participate in the activity. If you selected more than one player for the activity, you will see the option to change the competition mode from regular to first to hit. Regular mode is when each player competes to get more hits than his or her opponents throughout the activity. First to hit mode will add more of a competitive edge. When the first player taps out his or her color pod, all other players' colors will automatically be tapped out and recorded as mishits. When the competition ends, all the pods will flash in the winning player's color. Let's swipe right to the colors and light rules. Here you will be able to select the number of colors per player, and below, next to the player's name, you can change the colors to suit your needs. Make sure that the name of the player is correct, so that you see their results under their name. By pressing on the player's name, you will be able to add a different player from your current list or create a new player. The lights out setting will define how the lights will be turned off. Hit, commonly known as tapping out the lights, demands a physical tap. Remember, the pods are not buttons, so tap, don't push. Each tap out will be recorded on the app as a hit, along with the amount of time it took from when the pod lights up until the tap out. Timeout will allow you to concentrate solely on the visual cue without having to physically tap out the pods. Hit or timeout is a progressed version of the two. If you don't tap out the pod before the time runs out, you will record a mishit on the app instead of a hit. Light delay time is a time you can set between a pod being tapped out until the next pod lights up. You can set a fixed time, or you can randomize the time between a minimum and maximum amount of time that you set. This is great for adding a little more unpredictability into the mix. Now let's swipe to the last screen, where we will finalize our activity. Let's set the activity duration. Simply set if you want your activity to run for a certain amount of time, a certain number of hits, or a combination of the two, meaning whichever comes first. Below the duration, you'll find the cycles setting. Cycles will run the activity more than once, with a rest period between each cycle. After adding cycles, you can change the time between the cycles. Notice you have a Save button. This will save your created activities to your My Activities screen, which we talk more about in the video titled Create. You have 2 options for beginning your activity: Start Now and Start on Hit. Start on Hit will start the activity when one of the pods is tapped. The other option is to Start Now.
Ready, set.